campuses here. We've all seen the images, and they put to the test two fundamental American principles. The first is the right to free speech and for people to peacefully assemble and make their voices heard. The second is the rule of law. Both must be upheld. We are not an authoritarian nation where we silence people or squash dissent. The American people are heard. In fact, peaceful protest is in the best tradition of how Americans respond to consequential issues. But, neither are we a lawless country. We are a civil society, and order must prevail. Throughout our history, we've often faced moments like this because we are a big, diverse, free-thinking, and freedom-loving nation. In moments like this, there are always those who rush in to score political points. But this isn't a moment for politics. It's a moment for clarity. So let me be clear. Peaceful protest in America. Violent protest is not protected. Peaceful protest is.
What's going on, everyone? Selfesteem here today. I want to talk about how the Democrats are kind of worried about the college protests that's been going on right there. You saw it from the intro. These kids are not doing the left justice. And this is a warning I've been saying. I think this is bad politics, honestly, from the Democrats. For so long, since 2020, Democrats have been tolerating violent protests from their left-wing ideologues, their left-wing radicals. And now that it's happening on Biden's administration, they want to hold them accountable. This is the inconsistency that I'm talking about. Now it's, we don't protect violent protests, but you protect the BLM when they're doing it. And even when BLM protesters were held accountable for destroying property, hurting people, stealing, theft, all that other jazz, Kamala Harris went out and campaigned to fundraise a bailout fund for these protesters. You show me the incentive, and I'll show you the behavior. The Democrats have put out an incentive for violent protests, and now they're mad it's happening under their watch. Make it make sense. And it's always been about politics. Joe Biden can sit here and try to pretend that, oh, no, this is not about politics. I'm just trying to call it down the middle. Why is he calling it out? Dems are worried about college protests galvanizing Americans to vote for Trump report. They'll stay silent on condemning them, but in Washington, they're like, no, we can't allow this to continue happening. Let's read something a little bit into the article. Democrats in Washington are reportedly panicking because of fear that the pro-Hamas protest raging on college campuses across the United States will galvanize the American public to vote Republicans. Because how long Republicans were worrying about this? You continue letting these kids do whatever the hell they want, and they'll eventually overstep their bounds. It's the same warning that I gave, Jewish people. When Kyrie Irving and all these prominent black celebrities started questioning Jewish people. Oh, all these guys in Hollywood are Jews. Oh, how interesting. And they were getting called anti-Semitic. And I was like, y'all, for years, for decades, you let black people point out white people the same way. Oh, all the positions of power are controlled by white people. Therefore, it's a system of white supremacy. When the stats show that Asians are outperforming all other races of people in the United States of America. They make a higher income than any race in the States of America. But we're pretending that the United States system is white. It supports white supremacy. Oh my God, white privilege is a thing. But God forbid you say the same thing about Jewish people. Now they're crying. Now they want to defund universities, according to Ben Shapiro. But this has been a number one problem that a lot of conservatives pointed out. But when it happens to white Americans, it doesn't matter. How is that not racism? Craziness. But then Whoopi Goldberg on this next clip will have the audacity to get mad at Donald Trump for pointing this stuff out. Let's take a look.
This is my favorite.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you before I say it that it enraged me. There is a definite anti-white feeling in the country right now.
Oh, please.
Yeah, that's what he said. You know, sir.
No. Sir.
Yeah, sir. Nobody in your family was hung. Nobody in your family was chased because of the color of their skin. How dare you? There's no anti-white issue here. You are perpetrating anti-humanist issues here.
Anti-whiteism isn't a thing. And she's mad. Like, you get this idea that white people somehow cannot be victims, even though day by day they're discriminated against by affirmative action. They're villainized by the Democratic Party. They're caricatured as being the architect of discrimination and disparities amongst minorities. But when you take the white person out of the equation, right, you see black on black crime. You see black people get victimized more by other black people. You see that black people are the biggest perpetrator of interracial crime. So how you're not painting black people as racist? But let a white person be the biggest perpetrator of interracial crime and see how Whoopi Goldberg would spin this narrative that white people are so racist. But then if you put black people in the same standard that they equate white people to, you'll see that black people are more guilty of this stuff. Let's call it down the middle. If victimizing another individual because of a different race means that it's a hate crime, that means black people are the biggest perpetrator of it. If that is your definition, that if someone of a different race victimizes another person of a different race, that means it's automatically it's inherently a hate crime. Black people will be considered the most hateful group in America. But we don't have that standard for black people. We don't equate someone's success to their skin color. Right? I mean, affirmative action is racism under new management. I've been saying this for a long time. But then no one wants to admit it. The poorest people in America are white people. But you sitting here saying the system benefits them. How is that not racist? How is that not anti-white bias? Right? But you know, this is what happens. This is what happens when Democrats concede. And this is a bad strategy, by the way. And you're going to see further into this video. That it seemed like the left is pushing people with common sense to the right. One House Democrat told Axios, the longer this continues, the longer they continue and the worse they get, worse is going to be for the election overall. They all only look, to me, Democrats only care about controlling and maintaining power. That's it. There's no morality here. If morality helps them win an election, Democrats will be trying to be the most moral party ever. Right? And this has been what the Democrats' MO been from the very start. I'm going to have these N-words voting Democrat for 200 years, according allegedly said by LBJ. Because he's like, yo, I can't discriminate against black people anymore. We can't make these segregated laws anymore. Okay, let's use them to our advantage. Democrat Party, typical, right? Trump announced plans to combat anti-whiteism, right? And I think we should combat any anti-identity politics. This is why I said identity politics can no longer stand in politics. I believe identity politics is bad politics. That based on someone's race, gender, sexual orientation, if you want to call it that, you're allowed to discriminate against them. I don't care if it's a heterosexual person or a homosexual person. You shouldn't be allowed to discriminate against somebody or have some perceived negative bias against them. Oh, white people can't be a victim because your people have never been hung. Your people never faced any discrimination. I mean, you forget that Republicans, when they were helping the slaves, they got hung, they got lynched. But Whoopi Goldberg's going to sit here because they don't know history. You got the blind leading the blind. You got ignorance silencing wisdom. You got ignorance silencing knowledge. What does Whoopi know? She's been an actor all her life. Like, what does she know about history? She only read history where it confirms a bias that she already has. This is the problem with identity politics. We can't call stuff down the middle. If this was anti-black, would you agree with Donald Trump said? Yes, you would. Okay, if Donald Trump can find examples of anti-whiteism, would you agree that that is racism? Yes, you would. Okay, let's go into the clips I have on this channel. If you go to my playlist, where you got black women calling a white dude in his face a cracker. Now, if that white dude went back and called her the N-word, she'll be crying. Oh, racism, see? Because racism is about power. No, it's not. Because last time I checked, power only exists for the wealthy, the rich. That means in your definition, LeBron James can be racist because LeBron James can hire all black and he can be accused of racism. I covered a story where a white woman got fired because she was white and she won. She won the discrimination suit against Starbucks, won millions of dollars. This is why I always tell black people when they crying about racism, I say, okay, go sue. Go hold these people accountable. Go win you some millions of dollars. But it never seems to happen. But every time I see a white person go out, file a lawsuit against a company that discriminated in them against their skin color, they win. But anti-whiteism doesn't exist. No facts or evidence supporting what they're doing. Right? We can't look. College has really become a scam. Charlie Kirk had a book. I read it. I enjoyed it, and it kind of helped me feel comfortable being a college dropout because that's what I am. I got my job without a college degree. I think technically I got a 2-year degree, but this is why many conservatives consider college a scam. This is exhibit A of why how not to deal with petulant brats, appeasing them, praising them, or coddling them. This is something the left. This is the problem with self-esteem culture that we have in the left. The left push this idea, oh, you need self-esteem, while on the right we push self-control. Hey, you shouldn't get a bunch of women pregnant just because you can. Hey, you shouldn't sleep around all the. The conservative view pushes self-control over self-esteem, and in the long run, it seems self-control is more a valiant, more efficient, a better metric to judge an individual than self-esteem. Because when you get self-esteem, you get this. You get arrogant people. You get ignorant ass people sitting here trying to demand to tell you how you should run stuff. Take back the leverage, right? You're giving them leverage. Emotionism. Self-esteem don't want to feel bad about themselves because sometimes the truth makes you feel bad about yourself. Too much of what is called education is little more than an expensive isolation from reality. Isn't this not the college experience today? Let's play a little video. Is this not the college experience? Look at these kids. Do you feel like these kids will come up and be productive members of society? Hey, don't judge a book by its cover, but hey, how you present yourself tells me a lot about you. How you dress yourself, how you present yourself tells me more about you than your skin color, than your identity, than your sex. Period. That's how I take it. Your behavior decides your outcomes, right? That's my personal thoughts. That's my personal beliefs. Look at this kid. Let's look.
That is a policy. We are here and willing to accept consequences until you are willing to fold to our demands.
Fold to your demands, but then you sit negotiate.
This isn't ending until our demands are met.
Should we take down the time?
Imagine that. Like, this is like my son, my 2-year-old son. Sorry, my 3-year-old son. When he makes demands on me, I'm like, hey, look, you have no leverage here, son. Either do as I say or you suffer the consequences. This is what I'm talking about, that the Democrats have emboldened these people to act this way. Now they're mad. Right? These people don't operate in any logic. Isolated from reality. That is a perfect quote from Thomas Sowell. Right? This is Joel Berry, sorry. If Sharia law comes to America, leftist women will gladly submit to it. Deep down, they hate themselves and crave subjugation. This is something I've been pointing out too, that a lot of white liberals have an anti-white bias against their own people. Imagine that. White liberals are what black Democrats pretend black conservatives to be. Oh, Kenny, you hate yourself. How I hate myself. I wasn't raised to be an atheist. I wasn't raised to expect being entitled to someone else's money, aka that's what reparation is. I wasn't brought up to feel like I deserve something when I didn't suffer it, right? I didn't suffer slavery. I don't face racism at the same level as Martin Luther King. I'll never pretend to have more struggle than those in the past. But for me to sit here and try to benefit from their suffering when I got to benefit from their sacrifice, make it make sense. This is the problem with reparation. This is why I say reparation will never pass. Only Democrats agree with reparations. Independents don't. Republicans certainly don't. And if you look at the history, if you read a textbook, you'll know there was only 400,000 slave owners, which equate to about 5% of the white community. So you're saying you're going to get a lot of money for 5% of the white community? Most generational wealth is lost in the third generation. So where the money's going to come from? Taxpayers. So you're going to tell the tax base, who only 5% has any relation to slavery, to pay for your reparations. So you're going to make us all pay. You're going to make me pay because I'm in a high tax bracket. You're going to make me pay for your reparations. Make it make sense. This is the entitlement that we're breeding in the college campuses. Look at these people. Look at these protesters. They're literally leftist women. This is leftist women. They'll give conservative men hell if they say, hey, a wife should obey her husband. But look at what leftist women are doing.
Hello, everybody. Me again. I'm here because I believe in freedom. You guys not sorry. I come from a place that
Not what?
never been a Christian. I'm sorry
Cultural invasion. Look at that. Cultural invasion. But they hate the white Christian male. Too white, too pale, too stale. Leftist women, bro. But anti-whiteism doesn't exist. Okay. I told you already on this channel. White liberals have a negative bias against their own group. And this is what allows these people to be so anti-West. Because white liberals join up with these groups or get subverted by these groups. And now they're getting pushed to the right. Now you got liberals now trying to tell us on the right how to be conservative. Oh, you're not the sensible right. Huh? So liberals, are you trying to take over the conservative movement and try to wear conservatism like a skin suit? No. Hey, look, this is what conservatives stand for. We want to preserve our culture. We want to preserve our ideals, right? We like reform, but we don't like radical change. That's how I would put it. But let me know your thoughts. I already let you know what mine are. Let me hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. Do you think these protesting are actually galvanizing Americans to vote for Trump? Do you think that this is a bad look for the Democratic Party, who's been tolerating this stuff for years and now it's biting them back in the A? Let me hear your thoughts, and I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.